What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Orr. This is Ethan Orr, and today we are back with another tier list. Today we're going to be doing horror movie icons or horror movie villains. I tried to pick the most popular, or at least the most infamous horror movie killers. So I picked 45. Picked just the most popular, the most infamous, the most iconic. So let's get into the tier list. Okay, so here we are at the tier list. At the top, we have legends, then iconic or great, good, memorable, one kill wonder. Maybe they got a couple of good scenes. Maybe they're just a little bit iconic, but they're not very good. And then at the bottom, we have awful. Here is the list of monsters, killers, and creatures we're going to be going through today. Let's get started with Ghostface. Ghostface is a hard one to do because there's so many of them. There's like 13 different people who play Ghostface. But if we're going as Ghostface as a whole, as a character, I'm going with iconic / great. I'm not going to put him quite into legends just because there's so many different personalities. There's so many different Ghostfaces. Some of them are great. Some of them are awful. He's going to go in iconic because he is iconic. And I love a lot of the Ghostfaces, but there's a few in there that I would say are not very good or very bad. Like Roman Bridger from Scream 3, I don't love. And those Ghostfaces from Scream 2 are mediocre. So, got a couple in there that are weighing it down. Just otherwise, it would probably be in Legends. It's just there's so many different Ghostfaces. Candyman. I'm going to put him in iconic / great as well. I want to put him in Legends, but I feel like that needs to be like my absolute favorites, you know? Like maybe my top 5 will go in Legends, but iconic / great for sure. He is iconic. He is great. R.I.P. Tony Todd. He is a absolute icon. One of my favorite slasher movies, and it's because of his performance. He is phenomenal. He's got a great voice, and he's such a great killer. Honestly, I think anybody who has seen the Candyman movies knows that he is a great killer, and well, he deserves iconic. Next up, we have Predator. Now, this is specifically the Jungle Hunter Predator, and he is going up into Legends. For me, I think Predator is the coolest horror movie monster ever. I mean, is anyone going to disagree with that? He's really cool. I sound like a 5-year-old. He's really cool. Like, he is. He's very cool. He has a plasma caster. He has heat-seeking vision. What is that called? Thermal vision. He's got that. He's got the or I guess that's the one from Prey. I was gonna say like the shield, but no, that's from Prey. He's got the wrist gauntlets. Next up, we have EB, the Evil Bong. And if you're wondering why do you have the Evil Bong on the list of the most iconic horror movie villains, well, just because I did a ranking on the Evil Bong movies and I felt like I had to include it, just because I've done a ranking on the movies. I regret including her. See, here's the thing with EB. Sometimes she straight up isn't the villain of the movie. Sometimes she's literally helping, such as in Evil Bong 777 and in Evil Bong 888 and in Evil Bong 666. I think she's also, and she's kind of helping in Ginger Dead Man vs. Evil Bong. I'm gonna put her in memorable because I love her voice, and she is funny sometimes, but it's an Evil Bong. I can't. Next up, we have Jason. If you guys know me, you guys know Jason is my boy. He's my favorite horror movie villain. Obviously, got him here. He's up there somewhere. I got a lot of Jason all over my room. Yeah, he's my favorite horror movie villain. Friday the 13th is my favorite horror movie series, so he's going right up to Legends. Chucky. Is he one of my favorites? I wouldn't say so. I'm gonna put him in iconic / no, he's got to go in Legends. He's got to go in Legends. I love Chucky. he's not, I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite villains, but I feel like you have to put Chucky in Legends. He's the OG killer doll. He's, people are for some reason scared of Chucky, like more than like any other horror villain. I'd say like him, Michael Myers, and Pennywise are the three. Like, next up, we have Pinhead. Now, here's the thing with Pinhead. I have only seen a few of his movies, and from the ones I have seen, I like him. From the ones that I haven't seen, I've heard he isn't very good, but I have seen I almost said Evil Bong. Why? Oh, I guess because I just talked about it. Hellraiser 8. So I'm going to put Pinhead in good, because he is a very good villain for the first three Hellraisers. Then he just becomes kind of a basic slasher movie villain in some of the sequels, such as in Part 8, one of the ones that I have seen. He is literally barely in it, and he's a slasher villain. He literally decapitates someone with a butcher's knife. Like, it is just... Or a cleaver, that's what I meant to say. He's good. When he's good, he's great. But when he's bad, he's so bad. We have Valak the Nun. I'm going to put her in One Kill Wonder, because in Conjuring 2, she is great. She's terrifying. I think one of the scariest scenes in the entire Conjuring universe is when she's standing at the end of the hallway, when the little girl's, like, pointing at her. But as far as the Nun movies go, the Nun movies are both pretty terrible, and she is so just not memorable at all in either of them. One Kill Wonder, her one kill was Conjuring 2, but otherwise, she's terrible. Annabelle, yeah, sorry, that one's gonna go in awful. No. The original Annabelle, I think, is terrible. The second Annabelle, I think, is good. The third Annabelle, I think, is decent. But I've never been scared of Annabelle. I've never thought she was particularly dangerous in her movies. She's never really scary to me, and the best parts of Annabelle creation have nothing to do with Annabelle. So I'm going to put her in awful. Next up, we have Jack Torrance from The Shining. And I'm going to go with good. No, I got to go with memorable. Great performance from Jack Nicholson. I was like, wait, Jack, yeah, it's Jack played by Jack. Jack Nicholson puts in a great performance as him. I just think as far as a villain goes, he's not particularly the best. He lands himself one kill and then is taken out by weather. So as far as effectiveness of killers go, not too effective. He manages to scare a couple people, kill one guy, and then die. And he isn't even really a villain. He just kind of snapped due to the, like he wasn't a villain. But, I think in the regs, he wasn't a good guy before it. So, no, he is still a villain. But, he's memorable, but not a great villain. Next up, we got Freddy Krueger. And if you don't know where Freddy Krueger is going, well, maybe you don't watch horror movies, because Legends. Moving on, we have Angela from Sleepaway Camp. This one's tough. I've only seen the first two Sleepaway Camp movies, which I've heard are the only ones you need to watch. But, so... I'm going to go memorable. Simply for the ending, really. The ending is obviously the most memorable part of Sleepaway Camp. And for good reason. It's shocking. I've never particularly loved Sleepaway Camp as much as a lot of people do, but I still think it's a shocking ending for what it's worth. And so, yeah, she's memorable. It was never really like the twist that she's the killer at the end. I mean, you pretty much know she's going to end up being the killer. So, she's an effective killer, and she has some good kills, but otherwise, memorable, not great. Damien from The Omen. This could get me in trouble. I'm gonna put Damien, as far as a horror movie villain, in awful. If you guys know me, you guys know my biggest hot take on any movie ever is that I do not like the original Omen, and that is, I understand completely. I am wrong, and you guys are in the vast majority of the people that like the Omen. I'm wrong that I don't like it. Well, I'm not wrong. It's my opinion, but I get it. As far as a villain, Damien isn't even really the villain, because it's not like he's not really doing anything. Things are just happening around him because he's the Antichrist. And I mean, I guess he is technically the villain of the Omen series, but I haven't seen any of the sequels, so maybe he would go up if I had seen the sequels, but as far as the original Omen goes, I don't care. Next up, we have the Xenomorphs from Alien. Good. If we're going like a specific Xenomorph, it wouldn't really matter. I guess the only specific Xenomorph would be the Xenomorph Queen, but I do think... No, I'm going to put it up with Iconic. Put it up Iconic. Okay. I thought about it. They are also a very, very, very good design for creatures in horror movies. I mean, obviously, probably the most iconic. Obviously, I said I prefer Predator, but still, their design is so iconic. I've never found them to be super scary, personally, but still a great, iconic villain with, you know, one of the most iconic designs in movie history, honestly. Now we got, looks like we got a bunch of Universal monsters right in. All right, here, let's just move the other ones up so we can just talk about them all together. Okay. Frankenstein's monster is going up to iconic/great. My personal favorite Universal monster, since I'm not going to be doing a Universal monster ranking because you guys hated the movie ranking, so I'm not going to be talking about him ever again, probably. But I did really like Frankenstein, and partially because I really love Frankenstein's monster. Next up, we have Bela Lugosi's Dracula. If you guys know, I thought this movie was terrible, but it's not because of his performance. I'm going to put him in memorable. I think Dracula was a good villain for the movie. The movie's not very good, to me personally, but Bela Lugosi was not the problem. He put in a great performance. Next up, we have the Wolfman, which I'm going to put in good. I think my second or third favorite Universal monster. I love him. I love werewolves. Not the last werewolf you're going to see on this list. Yeah, right here. So, werewolf movies have always had a soft spot for me, and obviously I got to give credit to the original werewolf movie. Next up, we have Creature from the Black Lagoon. I think he has a name. They call him, like, Gilman or something. But, I'm going to put him in memorable, because obviously all of the Universal monsters are memorable. They're the first horror movies ever, besides, like, Nosferatu. And he is memorable for his design. Obviously, he even has a cameo appearance in the Lego Batman movie, so that's cool. But otherwise, I didn't love the original Creature from the Black Lagoon, and I think when he is up on land, his design looks really dated and doesn't look very good. When he's underwater, it looks perfect, but when he's on land, I don't think it looks very good. Oh, never mind. Next up, we have The Mummy. The original Mummy, I'm going to put in One Kill Wonder. I don't think anyone really even remembers the Mummy as a villain, because when you picture a mummy, you picture, you know, the bandaged up, walking around like this. That never happens in this first movie, and if it does, it's for like 3 seconds, because he's walking around looking like this for the entire movie, and I think the performance is decent enough, but this was the most forgettable Universal Monster movie, and partially because the monster was just not good. Next up, the Invisible Man, the original Invisible Man, I'm going to put in iconic. Second favorite Universal monster for me. I think he's got the most personality of any Universal monster, and he's the only one that, like, really is he's just a guy. He's just a human, which is so, that adds to his charm for me, because it's just a guy. Like, all the other people are, like, transformed, or they're something otherworldly. He's just a dude doing it for fun, pretty much. So I've always loved Invisible Man, and I think, yeah, as far as Universal Monster goes, for sure the most personality. Next up, we have Ginger Fitzgerald, aka Ginger Snaps from Ginger Snaps, and she's going up to Legends for me. I know, not the most iconic killer of all time, but I love Ginger Snaps so much. It's my favorite werewolf movie. It's one of my favorite horror movies ever, and part of the reason is because of Ginger Snaps in the movie. Ginger Fitzgerald, sorry. Same difference. And I think she has a great performance, and I, again, love werewolf movies, and that's my favorite one. So next up, we have, another string of icons. Leatherface. Leatherface is going to go in iconic, because he is iconic. And otherwise, I still think he would have made that if he wasn't, because I love Leatherface in the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I think he is very terrifying. I think he's very effective. As far as the rest of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies go, they do help build out his personality a little bit more, but I don't think they do anything to help him. In some cases, they make him a less good character. So he's going to stick in iconic, not going up to Legends today. Pennywise the Dancing Clown. I'm going to put him in iconic/great as well. I love Pennywise. I love it. It is my favorite movie of all time. It 2017, favorite movie of all time. Obviously, I have the costume here. There's references to it everywhere. That's literally an It sticker. I love it. That being said, It Chapter 2 did not do any favors to Pennywise's character, making him super easy to take down. Even if you use the theory that I talked about when I talked about It Chapter 2, that they did technically do the ritual of Chud right, he still basically got taken down by bullying. So that's going to knock him back a couple pegs for me, and he's going to stick in iconic and not horror Legends. But very close. Next up, we have Carrie, and gosh, this is going to be a very top-heavy list. It's almost like I like horror movies or something. Weird, I know. But Carrie is one of my favorite horror movie villains because she has a lot of personality, a lot of depth. I've read the book. I've seen all of the movies, all 4 of them, even though she's not in The Rage Carrie 2. Yes, a movie called Carrie doesn't have Carrie. I don't know either. But she's very good. I love her performance. I love everything about this movie. It's very iconic. Her performance is iconic. I really love Carrie. Esther Coleman, also gonna go up into Legends. She's one of my favorites. She's got great personality. She's hilarious. She has a great performance. And then that twist that you get at the end of the original Orphan, that she is, spoiler alert, a full-grown woman that looks like a child, is absolutely incredible. I love Esther. She's so funny. She's got some great moments, some great kills, and she's a legend for me. Next up, we have Reagan from The Exorcist. I'm gonna put her in good. Reagan, I guess, isn't really the villain. Pazuzu from The Exorcist. There's some iconic scenes with her, some good scary moments where her head spins around, where she's crawling down the stairs like a spider, where she's doing less than holy things with the crucifix. But yeah, I think she's iconic, but I wouldn't put her in that top tier. Next up, we have Billy from Silent Night, Deadly Night. Again, I just kind of put him on the list because I've ranked the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, so I feel like I kind of had to. I'm going to put him in One Kill Wonder. He has some personality. Yeah, moving on. The other Billy from the other Christmas horror movie. Billy from Black Christmas, and he's going to go into memorable. Because he is memorable, and he has some scary moments with the phone calls, but overall, he doesn't have a lot of personality because you don't really know who he is, or... I mean, he has a little bit of personality because he likes to scream and kill people, but otherwise, he's a scary villain. but in the most iconic horror villains of all time, I wouldn't say so. Next up, we have The Strangers. This is an interesting one because I don't like The Strangers movies all that much, but I'm gonna put them in good. I think The Strangers are scary, and I love The Strangers Pray at Night, which is probably because it feels the most like a slasher movie for me. I don't really love the original Strangers, and Strangers Chapter 1 was awful, but I like The Strangers, the characters, not the movies, but I like the characters. They're scary. They're scary villains. Sam, the cutest villain on the list by far, and yeah, he's gonna go in... Ooh, this is a tough one. Do I put him in Legends because I love Sam, or do I keep him in Iconic and be fair? Yeah, it's my list. Screw it. Legends, I love Sam. I love his rules where he'll only kill you if you disrespect Halloween, and I just... this top tier is so weird. Like, you have, like, some actual icons, then you just have my faves. I don't know. Samara from The Ring. Ooh, where do I go with some... I'm gonna go good. She is definitely memorable, definitely iconic. The movie is great. As far as the Samara from The Ring 2 and Rings, I don't really care for either of the sequels to The Ring. But as far as in the original, I think she's scary enough and iconic enough to at least get good. Next up, Norman Bates. He's iconic. Is anyone gonna argue with that? No? Okay, we can just move on. Cool. Annie Wilkes from Misery. I'm gonna put her in memorable. She is only in the one movie. She does put in a fantastic performance. Obviously, she did win the Oscar, Kathy Bates did, for portraying this character. And for good reason. She puts in a great performance. She's scary. I like her character, but as far as iconicness and my personal preference on villains, I wouldn't say she's one of my favorites. David from The Lost Boys. I'm gonna go good. I like David from The Lost Boys. Is he one of the most iconic villains in horror history? No, not by any means, but I do really like David. Next up, we have Leprechaun. Oh, this is I'm gonna go memorable. For Leprechaun. Simply because he's memorable. He's not funny. He's gross. But I can't help but like some of his movies. Like Leprechaun 3, terrible movie. I really enjoy Leprechaun 3. It is so fun. And I think that's the only movie where I would actually say Leprechaun is a good villain. He finally executes his personality perfectly. He doesn't take anything seriously. Everything is played for jokes. And honestly, just because of Leprechaun 3, I'm putting him in memorable. And because the makeup is very good. We have the Fireflies from the Firefly trilogy. I have only seen House of Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, so I have not seen 3 from Hell, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna go with awful. Are they scary? Yes. Do I want to watch these movies? Not even a little. They're so gross. Like, I know I love horror movies. I should be okay with gross things, and I am, but when it's this, like, I don't... Rob Zombie movies are just not my thing. I'm sorry. They're disgusting and filled with sexual assault. I probably shouldn't say the other one because YouTube doesn't like it. But yeah, no. Pearl, I was going to put her... Megan was also on here, so it was going to be her and Megan as like the new icons, but apparently Megan just doesn't get to be on the list. Pearl is, she's good. She's very memorable and already an icon, and she's only appeared in 2 movies, and she won't appear in any more movies, but she's iconic, and especially in Pearl, which I do prefer to X just a little bit. I think Mia Goth puts in a great performance as Pearl, and yeah, gotta give her her flowers. Jigsaw is up next, and he's gonna go in iconic / great. I considered putting him in Legends, but the only reason I'm not gonna put him in Legends is because guess what? There's 10 Saw movies. Do you know how many Jigsaw is the villain for? 4. Yep. The only thing holding them from the top 10, or from the top tier. Art the Clown from Terrifier. The most modern, the biggest slasher villain right now. As you can tell, I'm not a huge fan of the Terrifier movies, guys. I'm sorry. I haven't seen Terrifier 3 yet, but the first 2 have not made me want to watch Terrifier 3. I don't like these movies whatsoever. But if we're going based on how much I like Art the Clown, I'd put him in memorable. If we're going on how much the world loves Art the Clown, he's top tier. So for that, I'm going to give him good. I think he's a very memorable character, but I don't like the movies at all. I think he's very gross, he's very disturbing, but I don't get it. But the fact that he has managed to sweep the world by storm and everybody loves Terrifier now, that's enough to at least bump him up a tier for me. So he's going to go in good, not by my choice, pretty much. Next up, we have the Collector, memorable. I don't think he's necessarily a great villain because, you don't really know much about him. He doesn't have much personality. I just think he's scary and effective. Michael Myers. Wow. You guys ready to get pissed off? Because he's going in awful. I really don't see the appeal with, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Please put your gun away. I'm sorry. Iconic. Not going to go in the top tier for me because obviously my favorite silent killer, Jason. But he is going to be up there in iconic with Ghostface and with Norman Bates and Leatherface. I think he's great. It's just the top tier is my favorites. That's essentially it. The top tier is my favorites. So he just can't. It's not that my favorites, but he is very iconic. He's very good, and that's why he's an iconic / great. Next up, we got the Fisherman from I Know You Did Last Summer. Awful. Moving on. Hannibal. Iconic. Yeah. Obviously, Anthony Hopkins puts in a great performance. The only thing keeping him out of Legends is, again, his last movie. Hannibal Rising, terrible. So, bumped him down a little bit. I think the new actor who portrays Hannibal, the younger Hannibal, is fine. I just don't like the movie, and I don't like what they do to his character in that, so he's going to go in iconic. And then we have the Miner from My Bloody Valentine is going to go in One Kill Wonder. He's not very iconic. That's about it. He's a good slasher villain for his one movie. They try to do like a whodunit on who ends up being the Miner. You don't care because it's just a slasher movie, just a fun slasher movie, and who knows? But yeah, he's going to go in One Kill Wonder. So that is the completed tier list of all 44 of my picks for the most iconic villains. And that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy the video, you can click one of the 2 on screen. This is going to be a video, or you can go to my channel, find another one in there that you'll enjoy. Otherwise, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified when I post any brand new videos. Comment down below some more video ideas for me. And until next time, this has been Ethan Horner. See ya.